Blog Talk Radio.
Well, good late afternoon to you folks, and thank you for tuning in to True Capitalist Radio. And for God's sake, somebody is, well, hold on just one second. I'm getting interrupted in mid-show here, but this is episode 3 of the True Capitalist Radio Show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me live right here in today's broadcast. You can get to us at blogtalkradio.com/ghost. And, of course, you can figure out or find out when I'm going to conduct these live broadcasts by following me on Twitter. And, of course, the Twitter name is, Ghost Politics. That's all one word, no underscores, Ghost Politics. You got to excuse me, folks. I've been conducting business all day on this Friday afternoon. Let me tell you something. I'm glad it's Friday. I'm going to take the weekend to kind of kick back, smoke a couple of Opus X cigars, and pop open a bottle of Dom P, or maybe go out to the nearest spirit store and get me some of that expensive Cristal stuff. Because it's been a great day, or a great week as far as I'm concerned, because of the diversity of my portfolio. And hopefully you're an individual out there that has taken the capital that you're generating from whether it's your employment or your business or whatever the case might be, and diversifying your portfolio and maintaining the legitimacy of your assets. Anyway, we take a look at the Dow today. The Dow Jones Industrials topped off at 11,787. 0.38 to be exact. That's up 0.47%. That, I mean, to be honest with you, it's up 55.48 points. I mean, let's get real. I mean, it's a lot better than the folks that sold off yesterday and that made yesterday's stock market look a little grim. NASDAQ up 20 points. S&P 9.48. I mean, let me tell you something, everything's looking good. And, of course, for you folks that have been listening to the broadcast since the beginning, on episode 1, I did say that the oil prices will top $100 by summer. But as it looks, if you take a look at demand, you take a look at the climate, you take a look at a lot of different factors, I think oil is not only just going to reach $100 at the summertime, I think it's going to surpass it. I think we're going to see $110, $120 a barrel oil. And I think people need a brace for that as they, go into the spring and summer seasons. But there's a lot to talk about in the business front today. If you have anything that you want to say to me or you want to call in, 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. First thing I want to talk about is Timmy Geithner, and for all you folks that don't know who old, the money elf Timmy Geithner is, that's the Secretary of Treasury, the man that has literally backed up all the stimulus little bills and all these spending bills in the midst of high debts and high deficits for our American country and our nation. But he actually found the time in its midst of going out and speaking and, being some, pompous ass about his supposed economic prowess. He actually found the time to meet with, I think about 10 or 12 CEOs, top CEOs of corporations in the United States to discuss reforming tax laws for corporations, corporate taxes. And I think this is long overdue, frankly. I think that they should have sat down not only with corporations but representatives of certain small business fronts throughout the nation here and got together with them and figured out what exactly amidst the tax code is causing them difficulty to expand or to consider a little bit more risky investment, or regulations that's prohibiting them from producing more product or providing more services. Well, Timmy Geithner today is, decided to kick back with the CEOs, top CEOs of America today, and who the hell knows what was really discussed. But what concerns me is Timmy Geithner utilizing this particular meeting as an opportunity to figure out what more taxation he can implement on corporations and small businesses, or is this an actual legitimate attempt, a legitimate handout to corporations in an attempt to legitimately make the tax code that much easier for everybody that's conducted business in this country. I don't know. I hope, it's Timmy Geithner extending his hand. But you never can tell with this government. I mean, remember, folks, we have to cut spending. We're going to have to raise taxes. And I'm not trying to say this because I'm some damn bedwetting liberal longhair that wants to taxate the rich and feed the po'. All right? I mean, if you heard my previous broadcast, all right, my ass bleeds for the po' in America. All right? But I mean, I understand what our politicians have done. Excuse me. I mean, sorry if I'm stuttering because of the damn. I'm just in complete awe at what these power-hungry autocrats in Washington have done, the deficits that they have accumulated in our name that we, as the American people, are going to have to take the brunt end with. And I think it's a disgrace. Not only did they, increase spending dramatically, but they made the American people more dependent on government for maintaining their sustenance. I mean, do you understand what's going on here? So you know that there's going to be some serious tax hikes somewhere, and they're already talking about it. Talking about taxing fast food, talking about taxing fatty foods, talking about taxing fat people, talking about taxing people who smoke these nice cigars that I like to smoke, talking about taxing people who drink, not that they're taxing them already at the state and local level. Taxing, I mean, they're just discussing tax after tax, and this is federal taxes, mind you. I mean, this is not to mention the state. The states are in a bind, unless you're in Texas, folks. I mean, I know that we're in some deficits out here in Texas, but we got enough room to cut. We're not afraid to cut out here in Texas, and not to mention we've got $9 billion in cash reserves as a state, so we're not too worried about the little deficit situation that we have here in our state. We'll get through it. But you look at Illinois, who just, bamboozled their people into, legislating 66% state personal tax hikes. You take a look at California, which is, in such tremendous debt that they've already taxed their people to death, and I don't think they can implement any more taxes. And if you don't believe me, folks, you take a look at any product that's made on a national scale, like some chair, some desk. Take a look at the tag on the bottom of it, and you notice that in that tag, there's special writing, there's special literature pertaining to California's Board of Furniture Making whatever the hell. I mean, you can't even conduct business as a producer in California without going through some bureaucratic bookworm, publicly funded crap. And it's a disgrace. This overregulation and government getting into the private enterprises business is what's screwing up this country. And that's why I know that there was people out here that are disappointed in me. I've gotten a lot of emails from folks that are disappointed that I'm not a conservative anymore, that I'm not out here, trying to tell people to vote for the left or vote for the right or vote for the middle or vote for this or vote. I don't care because, folks, let's be honest. You take a look at the general American landscape. Do you honestly believe that the general mass American people have enough intelligence to comprehend the ideas and the problems and all the things that encompass a government? Do you think that they actually have enough intelligence to comprehend this and make a valid judgment call as it pertains to electing their officials who rule them? Absolutely not. So for all you folks that think that you're going to make some kind of change through politics, that politics is going to somehow get you through life, hey, what we're going to do, dude, we're going to go out, we're going to organize, and we're going to go door to door. I mean, I know I've said that in the past. I know that, in the past I believed in this ridiculous political system that we call the American political system out here. But the only way you're going to make a true impact is by conquering the economic situation here in this country. You need to be a capitalist. You need to be somebody who thinks on an economic perception. And if you don't, You're going to be like everybody else who's out here begging for a handout from Big Brother government, pissing and moaning about how your life is bad and how you have kids that you can't pay for, that you have debts that you'll never be able to pay, and all this nonsense that you put yourself in. Don't be one of those people, folks. We still live in a country, even though it's overregulated, even though there's power-hungry autocrats in Washington trying to take away our rights, trying to take away opportunities for individuals to prosper. There is still enough opportunity out here for those of you that want to take the initiative and understand that capitalism and money is not just going to be given to you. It's not just going to be said, hey, look, you know, I feel sorry for this person. Let me just go ahead and give him $1 million. Oh, look at this person. I feel sorry for him. Let me go ahead and give him a business. You have to take the initiative. You have to understand that all this time that you're wasting sitting on your fat ass watching television, all this time that you're sitting on your fat ass, playing a video game or going out to the bar and buying the bimbo $8 Mai Tais that are just going to do nothing but peck you on the cheek at the end of the night anyway, all the time that you're wasting doing all this nonsense, you need to be reading. You need to be understanding what the capitalist landscape around you is so that you can capitalize on that. I mean, there are so many facets to capitalize on, but what's truly unfortunate is that we have had these power-hungry autocrats induce the mass general American public into believing that the only source of economic opportunity is to bow down to American government. And that's just utterly ludicrous. It's pathetic. And that's why I am not of course, you hear things on this program that are ambiguously political. But inevitably, folks, I don't care what you vote for. As a matter of fact, I don't even think you should vote. You know what you should do is accumulate as many assets as you possibly can. That's what this show's dedicated to. That's what I'm trying to get across to the people that are listening in right now. I want you to go out there and accumulate as many assets as you possibly can. And when you accumulate those assets and you still think that you have a heart, you want to be charitable, and you think you give a crap, well, then you can go out and donate to your, campaign of your congressperson or of your senator or of your local municipal city officials. You can go donate in their campaigns and blow in their ear, and then they'll listen to your ass. Do you understand what I'm saying, folks? That's the only way that any kind of change, the whole yes, we can change, is ever going to happen. But you see, people don't want to play this capitalist game. You want to know why? Because it's hard. Oh, it's so hard to do. I have to work. I have to read. Oh, I don't want to do it. You're going to have to do it. And if you're not going to do it, then stop pissing and moaning. That's what I'm saying. And I know that the folks that are listening in right now, they're not pissing and moaning. They actually want to take the initiative, and you should. Opportunities are everywhere, folks. And let me tell you something. The reason I went into this tirade is because I'm talking about Timmy Geithner, Secretary of Treasury, meeting with CEOs in an attempt to get their insight on trying to reform the corporate tax code, and I think it needs to be reformed. Anybody who owns a corporation, anybody who's working for a corporation already knows, it goes without saying, that you understand the amount of regulation, the amount of taxation that is implemented on business, and it's a disgrace. And it's no coincidence why we have a dwindling unemployment rate that's hitting and going off of 10%. We've got this economy that's barely trying to bounce its way back based on a service industry-oriented economy. I mean, it's a disgrace, folks. You know, I hope, Timmy Geithner, if you're listening, you money elf little freak, I hope that you actually listen to those corporate CEOs, and I hope that you reform the tax code to where it is more corporate business friendly, so that those people that own corporations or that are in charge of certain corporate structures can actually make some of the cash reserves, some of the assets they have set aside, they can cash those out and actually implement those in some sort of business ventures to grow and prosper. And as a result, you'll see more jobs, you'll see more people making money, you'll see more people spending money, you'll see more economic opportunity for everybody. This overtaxation, this big brother government, shoving its face down our throat, it's enough. It's enough, and the only way that we're going to make it enough is if people get up off their fat asses and go out and start making some money. Go out and start making some money. I'm not joking. I know that people are out here, they're living, like a lump on a log. They're getting 99 weeks straight unemployment. All they got to do is go into some job interview and act like some jagoff so they don't hire them, just so they can take the paperwork to unemployment, and lo and behold, they're getting checks at $500, $600, $700 a week. I mean, what a disgrace. What a disgrace to this country. And these people have no shame. They have no shame about it. I mean, this is what we need. We need, cutting on the corporate tax end, and we need cuts on the government spending end. That's what we need. And Timmy Geithner, I hope you're listening, sir. I know I've made fun of you. I know I've, probably made you look lower than a leprechaun's nutsack at times. But I hope that you're listening to those CEOs, sir, because we definitely need some damn tax reform out here. I want to do some more investing. I want to take some more risks. I'm old. I've got money. Excuse me. I'm old. I've got money. I mean, I want to go out there and take some risks, for heaven's sake, but I can't. I'm prohibited from doing so because of the overregulation and overtaxation, and I'm sick of it. I'm just plain sick of it. Anyway, 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. I also wanted to talk a little bit about, J.P. Morgan Chase, which is, one of many financial banking institutions that are out here used by the general mass public. But J.P. Morgan actually beat the street's expectations. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and let me tell you something, I'm not one of these jagoffs that have, mounds of paper and, I got the link and I got this and I got... Look, I interpret so much information. I mean, being a capitalist, you got to be able to speed read. You got to be able to just point, click, get your news, get your information, and just start acting. Start acting based upon information. And there's a lot of information out here. But one thing that did not only catch my eye, but was a big factor in today's rally, in my personal perspective, was J.P. Morgan beating the street's expectations of 99 cents a share, I believe. And that was the street's expectations. It actually closed off, or the quarterly reports was $1.12 or $1.10, $1.12, something of that nature. Either way, it was a huge gain. It was unexpected. And basically, according to the New York Times, a lot of these banking institutions like J.P. Morgan are ready to start paying dividends on some of their to some of their stockholders. For those of you who aren't aware or don't invest in bank stocks have not been paying dividends since 2008 and the credit crunch and the whole economic collapse. And as a result, for the past 3 years, anybody who's invested in any kind of bank stocks for a long period of time, expecting any kind of dividends for their investment, had a dividend freeze. Well, lo and behold, not only are these financial and banking institutions beating the street's expectations, but according to the New York Times, they're ready to start paying dividends. Now, they're not going to start paying dividends like they did pre-2008, but they're going to start slowly but surely, and hopefully this puts a little bit more confidence in the market, puts a little bit more confidence in certain financial institutions for investors to possibly go long on some of these financial institutions. It'll bring more credit back to small businesses. It'll bring more credit back to the consumer, and we'll start seeing more confidence in this rally that I have predicted since the first broadcast of this True Capitalist radio show that's going to happen for the next 2 years. But after these 2 years, folks, like I've said time and time again, it's going to be an inflated growth. It's going to be a fiat growth, rather, a lot built on credit, built on a lot of speculation. So for those of you that are smart, you've got the next 2 years to try to gather up as many assets as you possibly can in America. And I'm strongly recommended to everybody who's listening to invest into foreign emerging markets. Not only can you stretch the amount of revenue that you save in emerging markets, but at the same time, the opportunity for investment and free investment, non-regulated investment, is free out there. You just got to do your research and, got to make sure that whatever emerging market that you're going to invest in has a government that's going to be able to implement the rule of law and is going to be sustainable for a good long period of time and is going to provide security for protection of property. I think that everybody in America should, consider investing in a foreign emerging market. I mean, it's just the thing to do, because at this point in time, America, as far as I'm concerned, I don't see it out of a bad situation. There's too many things going wrong. I know that it's not going to appear that way for the next 2 years. You're going to see a lot of paper and credit prosperity, but don't let it fool you. After these Bush tax cuts are finished and they expire, after all the stimulus initiatives and all the pork and all the stuff that they put in the stimulus 2 bill and the Bush tax cut extensions, once all this wears off in 2 years, folks, we're going to see a lot of turbulence that we have never seen before in our lives. Because it's going to go without saying that we have to cut. We're going to have to cut government spending, and we're going to have to tax somebody. And those that are going to be taxed are not going to be particularly happy. Those that are going to get their entitlements taken away from them are not going to be particularly happy. Those federal employees that they're going to have to lay off because of these cuts aren't going to be happy. The cuts for pensions and I mean, I can just go on and on. These people are going to be so upset. I would not doubt of seeing a lot of civil unrest out here after the Bush tax cuts and the incremental cuts start becoming less incremental and more apparent. And I don't want to see that, but if you look at the numbers, folks, if you look at the amount debt takes on our GDP, you take a look at consumer debt as a whole, you take a look at actual assets that are accumulated by actual American people, it just doesn't add up. I can continue listing things, but it just doesn't add up. So don't let the next 2 years fool you. That's why I'm beginning the show, True Capitalist Radio, in hopes of getting you folks to go out there and capitalize on some of these opportunities out here. But anyway, I think that J.P. Morgan beating the street's expectations, and actually the news of that came out at about 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes before the actual bell rang for the stock market. And if you saw Dow and NASDAQ and S&P futures before that particular news came out, it looked like it was going to be another bad day at the market. Another point of economic data that I don't think that had much of an impact, but a lot of the mainstream media seems to think it was the retail sales rise, the rise in retail sales. Now, at first glance, it looks, look, we got a rise in retail sales. It's great, everything looks great. But if you dissect that retail sales output, you take out the purchase of vehicles, and to be honest with you, the retail sales weren't up to not only the street's expectations, but for corporate expectations. It seemed as though everybody was buying, but you have to remember how corporations were able to achieve the consumer to go out and buy. It was slashing these prices. It was giving away plasma screens. It was doing all this nonsense. And in my personal opinion, I don't think this particular rise in retail sales should be as great of news as these people are doing it. But I guess any good news is good news for the market. And hopefully people capitalize today. I mean, there was some pretty good volatility for those of you that are day traders out there. Some pretty good volatility, and that's where you can, get, maybe 25, 50 cents here, for about 15 minutes, maybe 25, 50 cents, $1 there for sitting on something for about a half hour or something. Good volatility, that's what makes for good day trading. So hopefully you day traders did something. If not, well, take your thumb out of your ass and start getting on the damn computer and trade. Make some profits. Spend some money. But anyway, the retail sales are up. But once again, folks, like I've speculated in the previous two shows, these retail sales, and just like I just said previous, that it's built on not necessarily whole retail sales. I mean, this is an accumulation of all things sold in America. So all things sold in America, retail sales are up, but you take away car sales, the retail sales as a whole minus car sales did not do as well as corporate America or the street expected. And if you've listened to the past couple of shows, folks, I have speculated, and you can take this to the bank, that in the springtime, we're going to see a low point in the market. We're going to see a low point in the market, but let me tell you this, folks. It's going to bounce back up by summer. And not to mention, we're going to see a rise in commodities. I mean, I don't know if you saw it yesterday. I was giddy yesterday until some ass clown called me up and tried to, prank call my show and be an ass clown. But I was giddy yesterday because, commodities are up. Commodities are way up, with the exception of gold, of course. I mean, gold, it's funny. I mean, I think that people should be in gold for the next 2 or 3 years. It should be a semi-long-term investment. Because I believe that, we're going to see gold prices at $3,000, maybe $4,000 an ounce. And I'm not just saying that because I'm some gold pumper and dumper. I'm saying look at all the gold pumper and dumpers. I'm against gold. I think that gold is a ridiculous investment. But when you see opportunities, you turn on the news channels and you see that every damn advertisement is some gold firm trying to pump you some gold stock or gold bar or gold future or gold something. You know as well as I that gold is going to go up and it's going to continue going up. The only reason it's gone down for the past couple of days is because people are selling off on their positions. They're selling off on their positions. These are the people that bought high. They don't want to sit around and, keep their positions in gold. They want to sell them off and go into some of this other commodity juice that's happening out here, But I think that people should be accumulating gold. I think they need to save it. I think they need, they need to get a safety deposit box. They need to do something. They need to get a humongous safe that weighs about 800 pounds and throw in as much gold as you possibly can, but don't make it all of your portfolio. You see, that's what these morons on TV, even the pundits, even these ass clown political pundits like, Michael Savage, that stupid, San Francisco prostate-infected bastard, and old Glenn Beck, who used to rip me off for material. These people are gold pumper and dumpers. It just makes me sick. Every sentence out of their mouth, oh, you got to go buy gold, guys. You got to go buy gold. Shut your stupid mouth. You're gold pumper and dumpers. You know it and I know it. But like I've said, folks, there is going to be money made because of all the accumulation of the commodity of gold. There's going to be money made because the government is not going to stop spending. All right? I mean, look at what they've done thus far, the supposed compromise for the extension of the Bush tax cuts. I mean, this compromise entailed so much pork being added on to this dumb bill that it just doesn't seem that these stupid politicians get it. So the more and more these politicians spend, the more and more gold is going to rise. And the more and more people accumulate gold, the more and more it's going to rise. But America, we love a good bubble. Oh, yeah, just like the real estate bubble, just like the .com bubble, we love a good bubble. Savings and loans, we love a good bubble. And let me tell you, this is a bubble right here, folks, and you better get in while the getting's good and go in long term. And I'm talking about 2 or 3 years tops. And when you start seeing those damn prices for gold at about $3,000, $4,000 an ounce, you cash out and you move those cash reserves somewhere else. You move them somewhere else because I wouldn't put them in American dollars, that's for sure. And we'll discuss all that in another show. We'll discuss all that stuff in another show. But seriously, folks, once you start seeing them prices here in about 2 or 3 years at $3,000 or $4,000 an ounce of gold, cash out and move it. And I'm not saying move it in an illegal fashion. I'm just talking about move it somewhere else. Pay the taxes on it, do whatever you have to do, and then move it into another currency, move it into another bank offshore somewhere. Do whatever you have to do because, in my personal opinion, I think the American currency is just going to be a depleted, worthless piece of paper. I'm not joking. And let me tell you, I'm not just saying this because I'm trying to pump gold. I mean, for you folks that have listened to me for a long period of time, I've been online for, 4 or 5 years. It's 2011. Jeez. I've been on here 4 or 5 years. I don't really like gold. I think gold is just a shiny rock. I mean, it is not a commodity that's going to be sought after if the currency collapses. Now, I don't believe, I'm not a Glenn Beck idiot, I don't believe that the currency is going to collapse. I believe that, if anything, it's going to be worth less. Now, how less is it going to be worth? Who the hell knows? Because, if you look at Zimbabwe out there, they just printed out their $1 trillion bill. And believe it or not, I think that a roll of toilet paper out there in Zimbabwe costs like $500,000. And the reason is because the damn monetary system or whatever joke Mickey Mouse system they got in Zimbabwe printed out so much money that the money is worthless. It's worthless. So in my personal opinion, gold, I understand that there's a bubble going on, and like I said, I'm a buy on gold, and I'm a buy on gold for the next 3 years. You hold on to it for 3 years and cash out at $3,000 or $4,000. But in my personal opinion, I think that that this bubble on gold is just way overinflated, way hyper-sensationalized. If the currency happens to be depleted to the point where we're having to pay, tremendous prices for products because of the depletion or the overprinting of money, I don't think gold is going to be something people are going to want to trade. I don't think gold is going to be something that people are going to want to exchange, because why? It's not a commodity that's for any kind of industrial or retail use. It's just a shiny rock. And the only thing that makes gold really rise in value is those rich folks that want to put, nice gold rings and diamonds around their neck and their fingers. I mean, that's really what makes gold value rise. But what are you going to use gold for? You don't use gold for anything. It's a shiny rock. And that's why I've always said, folks, I mean, I know that there's people out here that want, we got to go back to the gold standard. We got to do this. Give me a break. We just need fiscal monetary policy. That's what we need. All right? Fiscal monetary policy is what we need. We don't need to go back to the gold standard. Gold is a shiny rock, ass clowns. All right? Ron Paul, I know he's from Texas. I know that he's out here, trying to pump and dump all this nonsense. Gold is a shiny rock. If the damn economy collapsed and you wanted to trade something, I am not going to trade you any of my goods for a damn gold rock or a gold necklace, all right? I'm not going to do it. What I'm going to do is see if you've got a cow, because I could probably slaughter that cow and probably feed my family for about 6 months or however big the cow is. Or I'm going to maybe get some ears of corn or some commodities or some food or some copper so I can put in my damn air conditioning and keep the damn thing running, and commodities, ass clown. I mean, good God, I just don't understand where people are coming from. Anyway, I don't mean to get off on that tirade. I am a buy on gold, all right? For those of you that are trying to accumulate it, accumulate as much as possible, hold on to it. 2 or 3 years from now, when it's up about 3,000 or 4,000, remember, it's up to you when you want to sell off. Don't get too greedy now. Don't get too greedy at 4,000 or 3,500 or 3,300 and say, I'm going to stay in there. I'm going to get all it's worth. Because then you can lose your ass. Because in my personal opinion, I think the true value of gold at this point is about $700 or $800 an ounce. That's the way it should be. It should be at about $700 or $800 an ounce out here. But instead, where are we at? Even on a bad day, even on a bad gold future trading day, what are we at? 13 and change still. 1,300 and change. Unreal. 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. I was talking a little bit about, before I got on that gold rant, I was talking a little bit about how retail sales are up, but how those retail sales are inflated with car sales. And you know how we are. We love a good car. And the reason that car sales are up is because, I think we're still reaping the, I don't know if you want to call it the rewards, but the side effects of stimulus package 2. This whole car buying initiative thing. And this is another thing. And I don't mean to go off on another tirade here, but I get so many goddamn emails from smartasses who email me up and say,
I don't really agree with you, Ghost, that you say that a car is not an asset. A car is an asset. You can buy a new car and
you can shut your mouth, all right? If a new car is such an asset, how come we're not seeing more new cars, being bought and sold like commodities out here? You're not seeing it. When you buy a new car, you moron, and pay retail price and take it off the lot, it depreciates by 30%. So that argument that, a new car is somehow an asset is ridiculous. You don't even own the car. I mean, it just makes me sick, some of you people that are so ignorant that you just want to see life the way you see it, because you're one of these ass clowns that went out and bought some brand new car and you paid, 50 or 60% over the price that you probably would have paid next year if you just would have waited. But you want to, justify your stupidity. You want to justify your ignorance and say, no, you know what, it is an asset, Ghost. You're lying. I don't believe you. You're just being a meanie. You people are stupid, The only way a car can be an asset, and I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but keep beating it, sorry. The only way a car can be an asset is if you buy a car, fix it up, all right, and you're able to sell that car after it's fixed up for a lot more than what you put into it. That's the only way it becomes an asset, you morons, all right? That's the only, you buy an old car, you fix it up, and you don't necessarily have to sell it. You can go to a car shows, that's what these car shows are for and all that crap. And then once you begin making a market for your car, when people start seeing it and they like it, you got a lot of rich pricks wanting to buy it, that's when it becomes an asset. Or that you see that there's a new trend of, people buying a particular make of, or a particular year of a certain car. You buy one, refinish it, remake it, whatever the case might be, and then go out there and put it on the market. And then it's an asset, you idiots. Jesus Christ. I mean, I know you people don't want to admit whenever you make a bad decision. Look, I'm not saying I'm perfect, man, all right? And nobody's perfect. All right? I mean, this is a game, pal. I mean, we're all going to be sidetracked by our own impulsive, consumeristic urges. We're all going to, make impulsive buys. We're all going to do stupid things. But you need to understand that you can't base your life on those stupid, impulsive decisions. And that's what a lot of people do in America. As a matter of fact, that's what most people do in America. And that's what I'm trying to prevent you from doing, because you don't need to do that. Let me tell you something right now, folks, okay? You can buy all the top-of-the-line crap right now. Spend all your money buying all the top-of-the-line crap and all the retail crap. You save it and just, live on it for about 3 years. In 3 years, people are going to be laughing at you like, oh, my God, that's old. You still have one of those? Oh, my God. I mean, that's just how the game works, folks. I mean, why are you idiots going out there spending retail dollars for, Chinese-made goods and then pissing and moaning about how you can't feed your damn kids? Why are you going out there, you single dish rag whore mothers out here that are, shitting out kids like you're a damn, oven or some crap, going out here spending about $30, $40, $50 to get your nails did every week, and then you're pissing and moaning how, you ain't got enough money to feed your kid. I ain't got money to feed my kid. I ain't got no money to feed my kid. I mean, it just makes me sick. This is why I don't feel sorry for anybody in America. I don't feel sorry for nobody, because everybody has an opportunity. You know who I feel sorry for? People in the international community that are being, genocided. That are being tortured, being starved to death because some junta wants to, put some kind of, distribution process on the food that's incoming from the United Nations. That's who I feel sorry for. I feel sorry for people that have had to put up with actual strife and misery I mean, that's what I feel sorry for. I don't feel sorry for people in America that are out here. Oh, man, I'm po. I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, why don't you stop spending so much damn money on your ridiculous, pathetically anal, vain purchases and actually purchase what you need for right now and save the remainder in some sort of an asset-based shelter so that you can have something to show for yourself, you worthless piece of trash. I mean, good God, man. I mean, is this brain science, man? I mean, what's going on here? Anyway, I know I'm being a little, there's probably people getting a little upset. They're like, oh, my God, I can't believe he's talking that way about people. You're damn right I'm talking that way about people. I'm sick. I'm sick of going. I mean, America used to be a great country. You know that? I mean, even in the 80s when I was a conservative, all right, I could even put up with all the little freakiness that was happening out then. You remember the hair bands, these ass clowns with leather chaps with the crotch missing and the hair looking like some broad or something. I mean, I could even hack all that. Because it was semi-innocent to some degree. You didn't have gangs out here, getting on rap albums saying that they're busting caps and pimping hoes and drinking 4-O's, and you didn't have all this nonsense that has become the majority of America today. The ghetto life, the menial life has become the majority of America. People don't want to take any initiative for anything anymore. It makes me sick. It doesn't take that much to take initiative, or read a freaking paper, all right? Very easy. If you don't know how to read, well, why don't you go to one of these many government-funded, program-based little things that are happening at these public schools out here and go out and learn to read, all right? Oh, I don't have the time to learn to read. Well, then shut your mouth and go out and do some menial labor and stop bitching. Jesus Christ. I mean, you don't even have to go to school. That's why I even tell kids out here that, have some, at least street smarts. If you think that public education is a waste of time, well, then don't go, all right? Try to figure out a way to get out of there so that the truancy officer doesn't go over there and, knock on your door and say, hey, you got to go to school, and I captured you to justify my little bureaucratic expense by the taxpayers, so go to school so that the school can get their taxpayer money so that it's just sick, man. It's just totally sick. And that's why I'm talking to everybody, especially the youth out there in America. Don't believe any of these assholes in school. Don't believe Mommy and Daddy, unless, of course, Mommy and Daddy are ballers, of course, all right? I mean, listen to Mommy and Daddy. If Mommy and Daddy are, got a lake house and, they're living in the city, they got properties, they're living large. Maybe then you might want to listen to them. But, there's just some schmucks out here, trying to, give you some sort of moral speech about, sacrifice and, hard work and, all this other nonsense. Okay, look, I agree. Hard work, it pays off. But don't sit here and justify, 30 or 40 years of mediocrity. All right? I mean, I understand that we all have to work. We all have to, do some crap jobs. We all have to, shovel fish guts or clean enema bags for a living for a portion of our lives. I understand that. But that's the point when you should be gaining your capital. I mean, that's energy that you're never going to get back in your life. Those are disgusting moments that you have to do and you should only have to do for a limited time so that you can gather your capital and flip it. But instead, to justify people's, stagnant mediocrity, they want to sit here and say, oh, yeah, I was a hard worker. I cleaned dirty shit bowls for 40 years. I'm a hard worker. Give me a break. Oh, gee. And look, I'd understand if you cleaned shit bowls for 40 years and you were in an emerging market that was barely budding into modernity. Yeah, then I'd understand that. Then I'd be like, oh, well, then good for you, man. Hopefully your son, your daughters will do something better. No, that's not what happens in America today, Now, in today's America, especially in today's warped teenage, pregnant, fetished, octomom-induced, ridiculous society, That's not what we think. We think that we can just kind of go out, especially these woman liberators out here, like Octomom. You think you can go out, shit out 8 kids, that don't even have to have any kind of economic foundation to fall back on. You don't have a place to live, nothing. It's okay. It's woman liberation, right? That's what this is, right? Woman liberation. I'm going to shit out 8 kids, and it's woman liberation. I don't care. I don't have to be fiscally responsible. I don't have to take responsibility for my own. And all I got to do is, all I got to do is give people this. All I got to do is say this. My kids. And the more I say that, the more people are going to feel sorry for me. The more people are going to do things for me. The more people are going to give me. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shit out 8 kids and just keep going, my kids. And then soon enough, the government will give me my cash. I can probably take one of these jag-offs to child support. It's just, Jesus Christ. And I know that I'm making a lot of people sick in the chat room here, but look, this is America, folks. This is it. I wish it was different, man. I wish this was a civil society like we used to live in. Remember that? I've said this time and time again, folks. We just passed a Christmas and New Year's and all the holidays. And once again, what was on 24 hours a day on one of those little channels out there? A Christmas Story. Oh, that beautiful little 80s movie that rekindles the spirit of an innocence of late 1940s, early 1950s. A Christmas Story. Now, like I've said time and time again, why do you think A Christmas Story is, such a great movie around the holidays? Why do you think people watch it? Why do you think people love A Christmas Story? Because that's what America was built on, assholes. That's what it used to be. It used to be about family. It used to be about caring. We used to take those types of instances in our lives very seriously and hold them for sentimental value in our memory recollection and cherish them forever. Now, these children that are being born today in America don't have that opportunity. They don't have a family that gives a crap about them. They're in there with broken homes. They got single mothers that are out there bringing in a different man every night, trying to play daddy to their ass. They're in front of boob tubes. They're playing violent video games. They're listening to Lady Gaga, who's telling them to go out and play poker face when they're going out with a man when they really want to be with a woman. This is just sick. It's sick. And I'm sorry that I'm getting so upset about it, folks, but, I feel sorry for these kids out here, man. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. These children don't deserve this, and everybody is just leaving them with all the crap that we are incurring here. When we're gone, when we're all gone, they're going to have to inherit all the debts. They're going to have to deal with all the, international domination by other nations. We're going to have to leave them with all this stuff. It's just, I can't believe that we can sit here and look at ourselves in the mirror and think that we're somehow, great parents, or great people, when we know that what we're doing is nothing more than selling out our children. We're selling them out. I just can't believe that, we have allowed society to get this way. And, I used to say death to feminism, back when I was a conservative, and for all you folks that want to listen to some archived episodes of my conservative rhetoric, you can go to the official website of True Capitalist Radio, blogtalkradio.com/ghost. And the reason I said death to feminism, folks, is because look at what feminism induced. Now, do I agree that women should go out and work? Yes. Should women be entrepreneurs? Yes. Should women have opportunities that men do? Yes. But should women equate woman liberation with trivializing life? No. And on top of women trivializing life by shitting out children, being single and, having multiple different children from multiple different fathers and, just kind of winging it when it comes to their financial security, who is going to flip the bill for this irresponsibility? Well, it's me. and it's you. It's individuals that actually want to do something in life. It's individuals that actually pay the taxes. And you see, folks, like I've said, you put the social landscape, you put the political landscape, you put the economic landscape all together. America ain't looking good. I mean, for the next 2 years, it's going to look like it's looking good, but it's not. And that's why I'm strongly advising everybody. I forgot to mention this on the last show. I hate to admit this, but since I've been making a little money, I've been moving into condominiums in the inner city. I've been kind of walking around the streets of Austin, Texas. I've been having a lot more time to spend with the missus out here. In the process of spending time with the missus, I hate to admit this, but I've actually been watching the freaking Home Gardening Network. Yeah. Oh, gee, I know. Everybody's probably laughing their asses off at me here, but I've been actually watching this crap. And one of the shows that has really particularly piqued my interest is House Hunters International. And the reason I like this show, it just shows potential buyers, whether they're from America or from the international community, actually investing in a complete different market in a different country than their country of origin. And what's really cool about this show is that it actually shows the discrepancies in different currencies. For instance, American people that are going out to, Costa Rica or going out to Belize. I mean, going out to, the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, which I happen to, Anyway, all these things, it shows that the dollar goes a lot farther in these markets. And it also shows that these individuals that are moving to these particular emerging markets out here, they're actually investing in the community. They're actually not only purchasing real estate, they're actually investing in business. Now, why is it easier to invest in business in the international community than it is here in America? Well, if you take a look at America, folks, we have depleted the ideas of business. I mean, do you remember back in the 80s and the 70s when we go to shopping centers and shopping malls, there'd be stores galore. I mean, there'd be stores up and down, independent shops and big, regional and national shops all over the place. Now you go into a shopping mall, what? It's the same idiots in every shopping mall, the same dumb stores, the same corporate chains, the same everything. And why? Because we've run out of ideas. Our developed modern country has already ran through all the consumeristic concepts that we could come by. So what is the consumer waiting for? We're waiting for innovation. Why haven't we had innovation? Because look at the freaking public education system and look at the family system that these children are being raised in. And in the broadcast description, I talk about I'm putting out a call for American originality. Well, that's what I'm putting out a call for, American originality, because there is a lack of it. I mean, is it just me, or when I walk around America, I see there's about at least 7 or 8 versions of the same freaking person. You know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, 7 or 8 different versions of the same people. I mean, okay, when you walk into a place, you've got that, your typical younger douchebag, surfer boy, Abercrombie Finch-wearing bastard, right? Then you got your old pricks that are supposed to be my age, even though I hope I don't look like these old, frayed, shorts-wearing, flip-flop-wearing, shit-stained T-shirt having pieces of crap out here. I hope I don't look like these people, but you have them, right? You have I don't want to go through all the personalities, but you understand what I'm talking about, folks. I mean, you don't come across original personalities. You don't come across original innovation. I mean, what are we being sold on TV nowadays? I mean, remember back in I hate to keep saying the 80s, but I mean, I guess I never really appreciated the innovation and the creativity that the 80s inspired based upon the economic prosperity of the time. But you take a look at the 80s, remember they would sell all kinds of weird and innovative things over the television, over, a variety of different mediums. Now what are we being sold in the media. What the singing freaking fish? The singing. I saw a product. What the hell is it called? The foot washer. Yeah, the freaking foot washer. Not only that, I'm tired of these bastards that keep painting like a $2 bill or a damn $half and putting it in front of my face on the television set, trying to sell it to me for like $20. What the hell is that about? What the hell is this? I'm going to buy a $2 bill for $20. I mean, that's how stupid America... I mean, do you understand what I'm saying? A lack of innovation, a lack of originality. It's like the pet rock. I mean, it's like these stupid ideas, a lack of originality. So that's why I'm putting a call out for originality. Think outside the box, and if you're going to make any kind of innovation, or if you're one of those people that wants to, innovate something cool, please. I'm sick and tired of, what was another one? The potty putter, yeah. Yeah, that's what we have, the potty putter on TV. That's what being sold. That's the originality that we have in America today. Hey, look, you can play potty putter. While you're taking a dirty diarrhea dump in the commode, you can freshen up on your putting skills. Please, America, hello, is this thing on? Hello. Is this thing on? I want everybody that's listening out there, please, I need some originality. America's being flushed down the proverbial toilet. Our government sucks. The people sucks. Everything sucks out here. Oh, we're overregulated as capitalists. All right? We're overtaxated as capitalists, and I'm getting sick of it. I want other capitalists out there that are taking the initiative, that are actually making some serious money in this country, to start realizing that we're not going to sit here and take this crap anymore, all right? I don't want the government to tickle our ass cracks and tell us that everything's a good day in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood out here. I want to see some freaking action. I want to see some lower taxation. I want to see some deregulation. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see leftists out here demonizing capitalists as if we're greaseball, slick-back bastards in pinstripe suits flipping nickels. All right? That's not what we are. We are the Vokes of the machinery that is America. And for everybody to demonize, everybody who's demonizing anybody who's out here that's a capitalist, it makes me sick. I'm sorry, folks. I know I'm going off keister here, folks, but let me tell you, I'm a true capitalist. Anybody who's trying to play this little politics game, oh, I'm from the left wing, oh, I'm from the right wing, oh, I'm from the center. It doesn't matter. It's the same crap, different plate, folks. So as far as I'm concerned, I know that, I'm ambiguously political with a lot of the rhetoric that I convey on this broadcast, but it's all about capitalism, folks. I mean, and if you want to make a true impact on politics, don't be political. That's one first thing, okay? Don't be political and focus on your own economic future. Be a capitalist. And once you become a capitalist and obtain as many assets and as much money as you possibly can, then go buy yourself one of these stupid scumbag politicians. It's that simple, that easy. And that's the way I'm starting to do it, and that's the way it's going to be from now on. All right? I mean, that's all there is to it. The only way you're going to make a true change in America is through economics. And what's really unfortunate is that it's not really going to change, folks. I mean, there's too many losers. I mean, I hate to keep saying this. I hate to keep saying that there's losers in America and that this and that. But there are, man. I mean, I feel sorry for those that are working, man. I mean, every time I go into any place, I don't care if it's a grocery store, a restaurant, a fast food joint, wherever. I appreciate the service that somebody is giving me, and as a matter of fact, it's gotten a lot better since 2008. I don't know if you've noticed this. If you've gone to your nearest restaurant, I mean, the service has gotten a lot better. Haven't you noticed that? You want to know why? Because these people actually care about their jobs. They actually have some integrity to themselves. They don't want to lose their work. They don't want to lose their jobs out here. It's not like scumbag America pre-2008 when idiots would have a new job every week. I mean, people are actually appreciating their, positions in life, even if it is a lowly-ass waiter or a dishwasher or whatever the case might be. And the reason is because everybody who isn't working is still getting paid too. Oh, yeah, and I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but, I mean, our stupid government, our pathetic government is actually giving incentives for people not to work. And until we rectify that, and unfortunately, when we do rectify it, I think these people are going to go nuts. All right, and I'm not trying to be some hyper-sensationalistic ass clown. I'm just being realistic. Anyway, folks, we're in the second hour of the True Conservative. Strike that from the record. Let me slap myself in the face. I mean, give me a break. This is the second hour of the True Capitalist Radio Show. This is episode 3 for all the folks that are keeping track. I'm your host, the man they call Ghost, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. For the last hour, we talked about how Timmy Geithner talked to about 10 or 12 CEOs of major corporations in hopes of bringing down the corporate tax code. And as I said in the last hour, I hope that Timmy Geithner is actually extending a hand to try to rectify the grotesque taxation of the corporate tax code, or if he's just utilizing this little engagement to see what he can do to piss private enterprise off even more. I hope it is the previous. Then we moved on and talked about how the market really rallied because of the J.P. Morgan Chase financial institution coming through, beating the street's expectations. The street expected 99 cents a share, and they actually came up this quarter at $1.12. So that's why stocks are rallying. And, of course, according to the New York Times, we talked about this earlier, the New York Times is starting to say that these banking stocks, these stocks from financial institutions are going to start paying dividends again. After a 3-year freeze in dividends paying, they're actually going to start paying dividends, so hopefully people are going to, start investing in these stocks. We're going to start bringing more credit back to the market. Hopefully within the next 2 years we're going to start seeing some more prosperity. But like I said, folks, within this next 2 years, don't believe the hype. This is all the 2-year run, the 2-year growth that we're going to see is built upon the extension of the Bush tax cuts, all the crap from Stimulus 2, and all the pork that was added on with the extension of the Bush tax cuts. Once all that fades away in 2 years, folks, and they start cutting federal jobs, they start cutting entitlement programs, they start raising taxes, we're going to see all hell breaking loose. So 2 years, folks, 2 years is all you have to accumulate all your assets, and then go ahead and, watch the Home Gardening Network and watch House Hunters International and take a look at a potential foreign market you can invest in, because that's the only opportunity that you're going to have out here, because in America, we just owe too much money. We owe too many people too much money, and we got to pay it back with interest. So that's what we talked about also. I mean, anyway, J.P. Morgan's beating the street's expectations, rallied the stocks. If you happen to have been in the stock market yesterday, it was a pretty bad day for you. But today they rallied on that particular news alone. I know that some of the layman business writers tried to credit the retail sales, the rise in retail sales. I believe that the retail sales were up 0.6%, if I'm not mistaken. But if you take away the automobile sales out of that particular number, the retail sales as a whole minus the automobile sales did not beat the street's expectation. It didn't even meet it. And it also kind of disappointed the corporate giants that, were trying to lure all these consumers in during Christmas. And the reason that they didn't profit, folks, is because, remember, they were giving out, plasma screen TVs now. What was it, for $3.99, $2.99, whatever the hell it was, $1.99, whatever the hell it was. That's what the people were coming out for. They were coming out for the dirt cheap crap. Once they got it, they weren't spending that much more money thereafter. And in my personal opinion, I know that the business headlines on AP and Reuters are trying to credit the retail sales as a reason for the rally this Friday. But my personal opinion, folks, and let me tell you, I get up early in the morning. I make sure to check out all financial news and try to gather up all my information as quick as possible. And I remember getting up pretty early this morning and seeing the Dow and NASDAQ and S&P futures down considerably. And it looked as if it was going to be a bad day in the market until J.P. Morgan released its news before the stock market opened. And when J.P. Morgan Chase released its better-than-expected earnings, Well, lo and behold, the stock market rallied. So, once again, folks, I wouldn't buy into this particular market at this point in time. I know that I've said this before, but for the new listeners in here, I would not buy right now. What I would do, and if I'm going to buy anything right now, I would buy Intel. Intel beat the street's expectations, and I'm sure the stock is up the roof right now. But I think that I would buy them even at this point in time. I actually bought Intel when they were down to about $18, $17 a share. And the reason is because Intel is microchip processor technology. I mean, that's the sole basis of their company. And you take a look at all these little gadgets out here. I know that AMD's trying to take a chunk of the market, but Intel still knows what it's doing. It's got its own patents. It's got different types of processor technology that can't be matched by others that are potentially matching it. I know that the people argue that Macs actually have better processing time, better processing speed than any Intel PC, but we do have to remember that the processor itself in Macs aren't particularly strong. It's just the fact that Macintosh computers are calibrated with all hardware that's internal, built by Macintosh or Apple themselves. But anyway, the reason I'm saying a buy on Intel is because you take a look at all the devices out here, these readers, these iBooks, and these tablets, phones. I mean, I can go on and on. This is right up Intel's alley, and I think they're going to start bouncing back from the low stock point that they've been in for a while. And I'm glad to see them bouncing back. But as far as other stocks as a whole, as the market as a whole, I think that we're going to see a downturn in the market here within the springtime because, like I said, the retail sales from that came out today are inflated. If you take away the automobile sales from those retail sales, it doesn't look good for retail outlets in general. Not to mention, we're going to see a rise in wholesale costs. We already did. According to yesterday's reports, we have a rise in wholesale costs, which is going to add on to the costs of retail sales. I mean, there's going to be a lot of factors in there that are going to cause a lull here for the springtime. But come summertime around, I think that we're going to bounce back, and then, of course, coming the holidays of next year, we're going to see everybody spending like madmen, like mad dogs. So be on the lookout for that. I'm just, giving you my personal perspective. But according to reports, the retail sales are up as a whole, according to economic data. And everything's looking fairly decent. I think that we're going to have a decent 2 years of economic growth, folks, and I hope that you capitalize on it. There's a variety of different ways. Now, not to get off the subject here, and me getting off on another idea. Oh, yeah, and by the way, you can call up if you have anything, you want any advice, you're going to get any ventures. Give me a call right now, 646-652-4869. But one thing that I have been invested in as of late is artwork. Artwork, and the reason that I'm, starting to invest in artwork is because you have to look at it as an investment. Whether it's old artwork or, contemporary artwork, whatever the case might be. First of all, you don't want to buy artwork, and this goes out to you potential artists out there that, want to go out in the art game. Don't sell yourself like some $2 whore and go on a street corner and, sell your damn paintings for whatever you can get for them. First of all, as a buyer, buying those paintings on the street corners, they're not going to be worth dick, all right? Because there is no documentation stating that you paid whatever price you paid for them. Secondly, there's no documentation stating that that's even an authentic painting from that particular artist. So right off the bat, an artist needs to understand that they really can't represent themselves. They need to go out there and pay their dues and try to get an actual gallery to go out there and represent them so that that gallery can act as an actual document trail to legitimacy and authenticity of the damn piece of artwork. Excuse me, I'm tongue twisted here. You know me, I'm sipping on the sauce here. Today I'm sipping on a little bit of Hennessy, on the rocks, of course. But anyway, if one wants to invest in art, one has to go into a gallery, and you have to make sure that the gallery that you go into is not some fly-by-night operation, and you could pretty much tell once you go inside if they actually had capital to purchase this particular venture, or they were just some idiot artist trying to scrape up all the beans that mommy and daddy left them in their trust fund after partying and, spending it on, reefer or whatever. They salvaged up whatever they had left, threw it together, and put up some makeshift gallery. You have to make sure that your gallery is credible, and it's going to be around for the long term. Once you go out and you see your piece of art, you purchase it, you make sure that gallery gives you as much documentation as possible. And at that point in time, whatever you paid for the artwork, now let's say you go into a nice gallery, you've done your homework, you see that the gallery is a long-term gallery, it's credible, whatever. You go in there and you find your piece of artwork, and your piece of artwork is worth about $2,000, $3,000, right? Well, you go and get your $3,000, you pay for your painting, and hopefully the gallery, if they're going to be charging you that price, will come into your home and hang it for you and all that other crap. If not, then I don't know. I would talk down the price. But anyway, once you have your painting, don't lose the documentation, whether it's a receipt, whether it's a certificate of authenticity, whether it's whatever the case might be. Keep the documentation and keep what you paid for. And let's say, in 5 years you need to get some cash. You need to liquidate some things because you're in some trouble, or something's happening, a health problem, whatever the case might be. You can actually liquidate the painting that you paid $2,000 or $3,000 for 5 years ago. You can liquidate it at a higher rate than what you bought it for, even if the artist sucks. Even if nobody knows the artist, even if the artist is just some schmuck, if you bought it from a credible gallery, it doesn't matter. If you have the documentation, you can go up to anybody and tell them that this piece of work has increased, because remember, we're going to have inflation, folks. All right, this damn government isn't going to stop printing the money. They're going to keep printing and printing and printing. So as a result, that $3,000 you paid for that painting 5 years ago increased by default with inflation. So just by inflation, you've made a profit. All right? I mean, it's a hedge against inflation, and you'll be able to negotiate from that point onward and be able to actually liquidate it for way more than what you bought it for previous. Now, for all you folks that, were actually listening to that, that's how you make a profit from artwork. That's how you invest in artwork. Why do you think people out here are going to Sotheby's, which is one of the premier art auction joints in the world? They're going to Sotheby's and, paying $50 million for an Andy Warhol painting. Well, because first of all, Sotheby's is, it's been around and it's going to be around for a long period of time. They're renowned for auctioning off these types of products, these types of artistic pieces and antiques and so on and so forth. But on top of which, that $60 million, whoever bought that Andy Warhol painting from Sotheby's, they invested in that piece of artwork for $60 million. Sotheby's is going to give them all the documentation, is going to give them all the the paperwork necessary to provide a document trail for the authenticity. And even if they keep it for 5 years, that $60 million by default, even if there's like an anti-Andy Warhol movement and nobody buys Warhol paintings anymore, which is not going to happen. But even if Andy Warhol just, fell out of character for society, because of the rate of inflation and how it grows every single year, because this damn government isn't going to stop spending, that Andy Warhol painting is going to be worth a hell of a lot more 5 years later. But because there's a market for Andy Warhol paintings, and there's a lot of people that want an Andy Warhol in their living room or in their office, well, that adds to the value of the art. So, for you folks that are considering investments, for those of you that are considering hedging against inflation, for those of you that are looking for opportunities to make some money while at the same time decorating your damn living room, artwork. Yesterday I talked about wine and champagne, how that can bring you some liquidity if necessary. I mean, you think about buying a bottle of champagne today, you save it for about 5 or 10 years, liquidate it. Not only is it going to be worth more because of the inflation rate, it's going to be worth more because of the age and you got to take proper care of these things too. You got to have a wine cellar or some sort of a wine refrigerator or champagne refrigerator. But you sell it 10 years later, it's going to be so in demand because you actually took care of an aging wine or an aging champagne, and boom, you got liquidated assets right there and then. Just make sure nobody pops the damn thing from the time you buy it to 10 years later, because once you pop it, it's over. But these are ways to make money, folks. This is capitalist radio, true capitalist radio, and I hope that you take some of these things that I'm telling you and go out and do them and make some serious cash. Because, it's making money's the easy part. The hard part is keeping it. And not only keeping it, but making more. And, for those of you that are saying, well, I'm not business savvy, I'm a worker, and that's all I can do, I've just given you 2 opportunities within the past couple of shows for you to go out and make some serious money, all right? And all you got to do is just buy something and just keep it and make sure nobody messes with it. Very simple, very easy. Very easy. I don't understand why more people don't think like this. This is what makes me sick, I'm giving people ideas. I'm shooting you idiots pearls here. And yet I have emails galore criticizing me because I have no compassion for the po in America. I get emails every single, you don't feel sorry for the po in America. It ain't fair, man. It ain't fair, baby. No, what ain't fair is you people extorting money via the taxation out of my pocket. That's what's not fair. So that's what I'm telling you, folks. Just invest, and flip, and flip. Just think of life like a goddamn poker game, all right? Try to gather as much chips as you possibly can, and, of course, you're going to make bad bets, man. You're going to get into a situation that looks lucrative. You're playing Texas Hold'em. You got a pair of pocket queens. There's an ace on the flop, but because you fell in love with those pocket queens, you're going to call whatever the idiot that has the ace is going to bet in hopes of you catching that queen on the turn or on the river. And, of course, the percentages are against you, and you're going to lose some money when it doesn't come out, but those are the risks you take. And at the same time, you could just fold the hand altogether because there's an ace on the board and just wait and, play another day. That's the difference between a capitalist and somebody who's just trying to go all in on the flop. It's that simple, folks. It's really that simple. And I really hope that you individuals are listening in, and I hope that you take some of these true capitalist advice and go out there and make some money. And if you are making money by the things that I say on this broadcast, I want to hear from you. Give me an email, ghostpolitics@yahoo.com, or shoot me a little tweet on the little Twitter. Ghost Politics is the name to tweet there. That's such a fruity ass word, tweet. Can't stand it, for heaven's sake. But anyway, folks, I want to hear from you. It's not that hard to be making money in today's America. I know that we have overtaxation, overregulation, but there's still opportunities to squeeze some generated revenue, and I hope that you're doing it. But once again, folks, if you want to get into the art investing world, don't buy it from some artist on the street because no one's going to give a crap. No one's going to care. You're not going to get crap for your investment. You need to go to a legitimate art gallery. And you better make sure that they have documentation so that there can be a document trail to validate the authenticity of your piece. And at the same time, you also want to, dabble in the art world. I'm not saying you have to be a full-fledged, Andy Warhol fruit or something, but, if you want to get into a little bit of the art world and figure out who are the artists that are in demand amongst collectors, That would also suit you well because, artists that are popular today and that are alive today, you know that they're going to be popular tomorrow, and if they happen to die tomorrow, they'll even be more popular. So that's another way to get into art, not to mention just going with the rate of inflation, but just recognizing there's a market for a particular artist. I mean, it's very simple. I mean, it's just supply and demand, baby. Supply and demand. If people want a particular artist's work, the more people want it, the more money it's going to cost. So it's just very. I've already given out 2 ways to make some serious money. I hope that you people are listening in and take it serious. All right? I hope that you're not one of these old jerk-offs that are saying, oh, listen to this obnoxious jerk. He's telling me to go buy wine, and I'm going to make money from it or something. The reason I'm telling you that, folks, is because you need to do it. I mean, if you're working your tail off right now, and if you're doing a job, I guarantee you're doing a job you don't like. And if you happen to be doing a job you do like, well, I'm glad that you're simplistically amused. Or if you're doing a job you like and you genuinely like it, well, kudos to you. But I'm willing to bet more than likely 80% of the people that are listening in don't like what the hell they're doing unless they're doing it themselves. And what I don't get is that you're doing a job you don't like, and yet all the money that you're gaining from that particular job, all the money that you're gaining from that particular employment, you're blowing it away. You're just pissing it all away because, I want something. I gotta have something to show for all my hard work. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. That's why I'm telling you, folks. Go out there, when you make your money, make it work for you. Flip it. It's like a game of poker. Flip it. If you don't know how to flip it, if you don't know anything about business, if you don't know anything about the stock market, I've given you 2 easy opportunities to make some cash. It's simple. Simple. And you don't think I'm taking advantage of that? I'm taking advantage of that just as much as every other opportunity that's out here in America today. You cannot stop taking advantage of opportunities. The minute you stop is the minute you're going to go down the tubes. The minute you stop is the minute your lifestyle that you got so used to that's, filled with pompous-ass champagnes and cigars and great trips, it's all going to implode around you because you took the mediocrity road and decided to stop and just kind of take it back and be some gluttonous bastard. You can't be a gluttonous bastard without continuously playing this game of capitalism. That's the only way that all these rich pricks that everybody hates, people like Henry Kravis and, all these people that they criticize, I can't believe Kravis. He's got 10 mansions all over America, and he's got galleries, and he's got this. How do you think he gets it, you idiots? This guy works 12, 15 hours a day. He works days on end. I mean, this man, there's employees. There's retirement. There's so much things dependent upon this man's existence. That's why he's getting it. And he put himself in that position. He put himself in the position of being a capitalist. He put himself in the position of being in charge of people. And that's what you can do too. But what I'm telling you folks is don't be an idiot. Don't be bamboozled. Know what your limits are. Know your limitations. Know your knowledge. Know your skills. Because some people believe that just because they think they're going to be a millionaire, they're going to be one. And that's not what happens, folks. Just because you think it doesn't mean you're going to be it. You actually have to know what you're doing. And that takes work, folks. That takes reading. That takes understanding. That takes observing. That takes looking at the world from a capitalist eye. Looking at the world from a capitalist perspective. Instead of just observing idiots like some dumbfounded goof, why don't you really take an interpretive look at what people are doing? Take an interpretive look at what people are buying, what they're consuming. When you're at the store, take a look at people's baskets. Take a look at the companies they're consuming. Take a look at everything, all the products. I mean, when you're looking on TV, take a look at the advertisements and who's supporting the program you're watching. Take a look at the insert advertisements. Take a look at everything, folks. There's so many opportunities for people out here, but unfortunately, people are too busy pissing and moaning, wanting more money from the government, folks. And I don't think you want to be that person. I mean, the people that are like this, people that are collecting from the government and have no shame, they have no shame. Shame to them is nothing.
And you see, capitalists, we have integrity. We have pride, for heaven's sake. We're not going to sit here and grovel. We're not going to sit here and beg. We're going to go out and we're going to do something. If you're out here saying, oh, I'm poor in America, why don't you go out and do something, for heaven's sake? You know what I don't understand? I see these bums on the street claiming, hey, I will work for food, baby. I will work for food, baby. And, what gets me is that, let's say you are a person down on your luck. You get kicked on your ass with nothing but the shirt on your back. And let's say you have to hold a sign that says, hey, I need $1, need this, need that, whatever. Well, I don't know about you, but why don't you observe one of those ass clowns on the corner and take a look at how much money that idiot gets untaxed. Untaxed, baby. This idiot is collecting $100, $150, and for like 3 or 4 hours worth of work, depending on your market, depending on how many people have money in your community. $150 an hour, $150 for 3 or 4 hours of work. I mean, right off the bat, you would think that would be able to pay for some cheap a motel room for about $20 or $30 a night, right? That comes with a free shower, free HBO, free bed, room service, the whole 9 yards. That could pay for some, I don't know. I mean, I always thought about ways of, for bums to go out and make money. I mean, they could go to one of those machines that gives out the papers, pay for one paper, take them all, sell them on the street, sell them on the street corner. I mean, you can, go out and, I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking, folks. I mean, just go out and hustle. Go out and get a shine box and shine some people's shoes, for heaven's sake. Go out and sell yourself. I mean, I'm sick and tired of people that are sitting here saying, I don't know what to do. I mean, there's so many opportunities. I mean, for God's sake. Anyway, I'm getting a little off keister here, folks, and I'm sorry. But I'm just tired of seeing America being flushed down the proverbial toilet. That's it. I'm just tired of it. I don't know about you, Milky Lickers, but I'm a little tired of it. Anyway, 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. We're talking about capitalist endeavors. I just finished talking about how art is a pretty good investment if you buy artwork from legitimate galleries so you can have a document trail of legitimacy and authenticity, and just based upon buying a piece of art from a gallery, even if the artist sucks, that whatever you paid for it today, in 5 years from now, it will be worth more based on the rate of inflation. And the reason you can say that is because the documentation that comes with the artwork from the gallery you bought it from is going to have the time, it's going to have the date, it's going to have the price. And there's your negotiating tool right there when you're trying to liquidate that piece of artwork. Very, very simple. Another way to make some money, and I said this on yesterday's program, I just want to reiterate it so that people can get it through their thick, numb skulls, is just to go out to your nearest liquor store and go out and buy some wine. Go out and buy some, the expensive kind, the ones that cost about $40 or $50 a bottle. Go out and buy some of those. But go out and buy them and store them. Make sure that they're stored correctly. Save them for about 5 or 10 years. And I guarantee you, in 10 years, those $50 bottles are going to be worth about $300, $400, $500 a bottle because everybody loves aged champagne. Everybody loves aged wine. And especially if you're buying the $30 or $40 bottles today or $50 bottles today, they're going to be worth who the hell knows? It depends on the market at the time. I mean, you can take your wine with you, and go out and, ask liquor stores, hey, you want a bottle of this? You want a bottle of that? I mean, I'm telling you, folks, there's so many ways to make cash. I don't know why people aren't doing it. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway. This is a call for American originality, folks. I mean, this is why we're not original. We have government-funded mediocrity going on. Government-funded mediocrity is going on here. I mean, this is why we don't have any originality, and the only people that are getting original are people that are coming in from other countries. And that's why I'm saying, for all you assholes, and I know I was one of those assholes, okay? I was a conservative. I'm still somewhat conservative, but I'm not going to be harping on it. because I'm a capitalist more than I'm a conservative now. I've always been a capitalist, but now my capitalist fervor has superseded anything else. Anyway, I forgot what I was going to say. It really doesn't matter anyway. It doesn't matter. I just want people to make money. And I want to hear from you. What are you thinking? I mean, are you going to make any investments? What's your financial position? I want to hear from you. 646-652-4869. I want to hear if you're going to make any business ventures. I want to hear if you're going to make any stock ventures. I want to hear if you're diversifying your portfolio. I want to hear that when you get your paycheck, you're not out here blowing all this damn money at the Ooh La La bar, and you're actually putting it somewhere where it's going to work for you. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. Give me a call right now. I want to hear from you. Or, if you don't want to call because, you have a carrier that's still charging you for long distance, you can give me a tweet at Ghost Politics. All one word, no underscores, nothing like that. Ghost Politics. Anyway, folks, I'm broadcasting to you live to the world from my office in the middle of Austin, Texas, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me right now. That's why, for all you folks that are wondering why I'm not getting all crazy and throwing things and, things that I used to do is because of that. Because now I'm a little bit more legitimate. I'm growing, even more than usual. I mean, I have to say I was one of those folks that was pretty stagnant there for about 3 or 4 years, getting happy with the businesses that I had built, figuring that, I didn't have to grow any longer. But, once I started making, investments, once I started making other moves that profited generously, as well as I, you can't stop growing. So these broadcasts will be at these times from now on. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to start broadcasting a lot more often, probably 5 times a week because, I usually get on here about 4 or 5 when I'm pretty much done with the day's business. And, it's kind of an unwinding session. And hopefully folks are getting some insight based upon the information that I'm trying to convey to you folks. This is not a joke, man. I want everybody to make money, because if you're making money, then the country's making money. And if the country's making money, then we're all making money. And if we're all making money, then we can, grow new businesses. Remember in the 90s, like, at the peak of the dot-com bubble when everybody just seemed like they were, just living large. Everybody was living large back then. I remember everybody was just making cash. They were throwing anything at the stock market and thought they were stock geniuses and crap. Well, anyway, do you remember the businesses that were around at that particular time? And I know that they're still around in bigger markets, but, they're not as prevalent in mid-size or metropolises that aren't, generating that much in revenue. But stupid jobs like dog walkers, like a damn dog walker. People were actually making a living as a dog walker. Stupid, pet shop bakeries and, crap like that. I mean, the only way businesses like that can sustain themselves, these weird shops that are eclectic and weird and it makes a shopping center a shopping center. I mean, those things can only sustain themselves if people are making money and have expendable income to throw on that crap. But if everybody's tightening up and everybody just, is blowing their money on the same corporate multinational conglomerate, well, then where's the economic opportunity going to come from? I talk to all these people all the time, in my communities all over Texas here. I have businesses all over the state of Texas. I talk to people all over the community, and I hate to hear, how they're pissing and moaning about, the mom and pop shops, they're getting taken out, man. And, man, it ain't even fair. The corporate America's taking over our community. I mean, you morons, if you are going to sit here and piss and moan like a bunch of red-headed, four-eyed, freckle-faced, beaten, ass-tickling stepchildren about how corporate America has taken over your communities, why are you spending your money there, you stupid imbecile? I mean, why are people spending their money at multinational conglomerates that they hate if they, are pissing and moaning about the damn mom and pop shops being taken over? I don't understand it. I mean, this is the hypocrisy of America here.
these people want their cake and eat it too. They want mom and pop shops. They want independent business. They want small business. They want all this crap, and yet they don't want to go out there and patronize the businesses and pay the little bit of surcharge it takes to make a small business profitable. No, instead they go to these Walmarts and Costco's and Sam's Club, which there's nothing wrong. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I'm tired of people bitching and moaning. I mean, don't you imbeciles understand that where you spend your money is a damn political outlook on your personality? You stupid idiot. I mean, I'm sick and tired of people pissing and moaning. Walmart's taking over. Well, why don't you go spend your money somewhere else? But you're not going to do it. You want to know why? Because you're hypocrites. You're idiots, And I'm tired of hearing you idiot American people, pissing and moaning all the time. I'm tired of it. You have nothing to bitch about, all right? I mean, look, if you Poe in America today, if you Poe in America, you have every goddamn entitlement that's taxpayer funded to sit here and prop up your stupid loser ass, all right? Or if you don't, get approved by any of these little programs, you can pretend that you've got fibromyalgia or you've got some kind of bipolar disorder, or pretend that you're trying to bite your ear or some crap and get yourself disability for the rest of your life. All right? So I don't want to hear that, these people, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear this crap. I'm sorry I'm going off keister here, folks, and I know there's people out here that think I'm some sort of heartless Gordon Gekko sociopath, but you know what? Who cares? I mean, at least I'm giving it to you straight, folks. I'm not out here, like these politicians sitting over here giving you the big smile and the kiss ass, and then when I get into power, I'm giving you a classic fist fuck with no Vaseline. Excuse my French, but I'm a little upset. I'm telling you how it is. And, in America today, we have no reason to piss and moan, man. Even if you're making minimum wage, you're not going to make minimum wage forever, you idiot, unless you're a complete buffoon. But if you're a complete buffoon, you should get yourself an IQ test. Maybe you're a half a tard, and maybe you can get some damn disability on top of working, you stupid moron. Anyway. I know that it sounds like I'm a mean man. I'm not. I'm actually trying to help people. I've already given you all several ways to make money. Several ways to make money. And I hope that you take advantage of those little opportunities and many more opportunities that we're going to be discussing in this new version of my program here. We're going to be. I hope you're taking advantage of these opportunities because, like I said, when we as capitalists start taking over economies, then we can start dictating the way the politics is implemented. Bottom freaking line. I'm not into this, left, right wing anymore. It's about the money. All right, money talks, BS walks. And that's all there is to it. So all you fruity asses out here that think that you're going to, make some change by gathering up a bunch of idiots and having a circle jerk with picket signs, it's not going to happen. All right, it's not working. And even if you do get some idiot elected like Obama, look at the people that voted for him. They don't even want to talk about, that crap anymore. Haven't you noticed that? Haven't you gone up to somebody who helped, Obama get elected and threw signs in front of your face or, was part of your family and was at the damn Thanksgiving table trying to shove this yes we can crap down your hole? Remember that in 2008? What are they doing now? Every time you throw Obama into the conversational piece, these idiots have a sour puss on their face and saying, "Oh man, I don't want to talk about it, man. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it." Well, what happened? I'll tell you what happened. Nothing happened, you idiots. Just like I said in 2008, you can go back in the archives at blogtalkradio.com/ghost. Go back into the archives in 2008. I told all you idiots nothing was going to happen. Told all you morons. But, that's why I don't even bother with politics. Politics is nothing. It goes in one ear and out the other. So I'm putting my money where my mouth is, folks. If you want to take my advice and you want to make some money, make some money. If you don't, well, then piss off and keep pissing and moaning. All right? Keep pissing and moaning. I'm not going to sit here and try to amuse an audience that's going to do nothing but just,
oh, Ghost, I'm having trouble. My kids, Ghost, my kids. You're not understanding, Ghost. My kids.
I'm sick of that. I'm sick of hearing that. Every time. It doesn't matter what market you're in. Every time you hear somebody doing something ridiculous or trying to get one over, this is what you hear from them. My kids, you're not understanding, my kids. Like we're supposed to care. We're supposed to care about their kids. We're supposed to raise their kids. Jesus Christ. That's why I'm telling you, anybody who's the youth of America today, and this strikes a nerve with you, don't listen to Mommy and Daddy, all right? Go out there, make your own money at an early age. There's opportunities for young kids to make money, all right? You just got to go out there and try to look for it for yourself, all right? The Internet, all right? That's a way to make money. I mean, lemonade stands, for heaven's sake. It doesn't matter. Go out there and make sure that Mommy and Daddy give you the cash. If they start taking away your cash, well, then you're stuck until you're about 18 or 16 or 15 or whatever the hell legal age is for you to get the hell out of there. But I'm telling you this right now, the only way that you're going to be anything in life, folks, especially you youngins out there, the only way that you're going to be anything in life is if you're worth something. All right, and for all these idiots that are claiming that we got to go revolution and the Federal Reserve and we got to go back to the gold standard. All you people that are doing this, you people are idiots. You people are losers in life that have pretty much surmised that you're not going to accomplish anything. All you're going to do is be able to score a quarterback from the black kid across the street and be able to puff on the Magic Dragon about 24 hours a day without making any kind of contribution to life itself, other than being some rabble-rouser behind some conspiracy theorist rhetoric. I mean, you idiots are morons. The only way that revolution will be justified and should be justified in America is if there is no protection of private property and there is no capitalism. That's when people should rebel. When we have no opportunity to get what we put in, that's when we should rebel. I'm just sick, man. I'm just sick of people pissing and moaning. I'm sorry. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. You know what? I'm so sick. I just want to throw up. I just want to throw up nasty chicken grease and corn oil and cream of wheat with pineapple bits and mini wheat thins and leftover pepperoni pizza and stomach plasma. I mean, I'm so sick that this is the America. We used to be the bastions of capitalism. Now we're the bastards. We're the bastards. I hate to keep reiterating that, but I want to put it through your thick freaking skulls, and I want you all to realize how much shame your mediocrity has brought on this country. And that's why I'm saying all the capitalists out there in America, all the capitalists, you have 2 years left. 2 years left to make capital. 2 years left to obtain assets. After that, this place is going to crap. Anyway, folks, I'm going to go ahead and end the show here, folks. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. I know it's a different format. I know it's a different show. I'm not talking about liberals, and I'm not talking about all this political mumbo jumbo because it's stupid. It's ridiculous. I mean, the whole system of politics is dependent on the mass general American public. And let's be honest with you, if we put the majority of the American public together and put their intelligence together, they might have enough intelligence to tie their shoe. It's ridiculous. I mean, they can't even come to a consensus on who to vote for American Idol. What makes you think that they have the intellectual curiosity to elect their leaders? Huh? I mean, these are the same people that are out here buying the potty putter on TV. These are the same idiots paying $20 for a $2 bill because the TV painted like a some idiot painted like a Grand Canyon in the back of it or something. And now, I got to pay $20, for a damn $2 bill. I mean, give me a damn break. I got to pay $25 for a $half. I mean, you people are stupid, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, not everybody. I know that there's, the people that are listening in to me and that are avid listeners and that took my advice and that are making money now. I'm not talking about you people. You people are taking the initiative to go out there and do something. I'm talking about these other losers out here. that want to blame everybody but themselves for their own problems. And frankly, that's the way it should be. You're blaming yourself. You need to blame yourself. You need to look in the mirror and see that disgusting, cross-eyed, despicable scowl you got going on, and take a look at yourself and see what's going on in there and realize that it's your stupid, incompetent thought processes that brought on all these disgusting problems that you want to blame everybody else for. And it's real easy to bounce back, man. You know, no matter what your problems are, unless, of course, you got 8 kids or something. I mean, you got 8 kids, you're pretty much screwed. You better just jump ship out of this country with your clothes on your back and go, settle in Uruguay or some crap. Because, you can forget about your life in America, Oh, yeah, and before I go, speaking of, people with 8 or 9 kids, the golden voice homeless prick, Ted Williams, that we discussed on the first program, who I anticipated was going to fall off the wagon, actually fell off the wagon sooner than I thought. Apparently, and, let me get to this in a second, but, apparently what happened here, Ted Williams, when he started getting all this notoriety, recognition, Kraft macaroni and cheese hooked him up with a payday. He was staying at some swank-ass Beverly Hills hotel. And apparently he racked up a hell of a bar tab over there kicking back at these Beverly Hills hotels. And when his kids came in to, show up, for their cut of the money, he wasn't too happy in his drunken state. And apparently, they got into an altercation that got a little physical. And according to reports, old Ted Williams got detained. Well, of course, you know that, these media whores like Oprah and Dr. Phil had to get in on this ridiculous story. So Dr. Phil, just like he did with Octo Whore over there, got into the story with Ted Williams, got in the middle of the whole family altercation, convinced this stupid golden homeless voice idiot to go to rehab. And now, within a week's time, a homeless man that's went from rags to riches to rehab. 1 week. Internet killed the video star. That's all I got to say. All right? Anyway, folks, I think the next broadcast I'm going to have is probably Monday in the same time slot, folks. I actually like this time slot. It seems to me that everybody who is listening in to the broadcast at this point in time actually cares about making some money instead of just circle jerking around, tickling their ass cracks, listening to prank calls or some crap. They actually want to take the initiative to go out there and kick some ass out here in this ridiculous, pathetic America that we call a country here. And I want to thank you folks for listening in. Once again, follow me on Twitter. Ghost Politics is the name to follow. We're going to consider changing that particular little name, Ghost Politics. And at the same time, you can email me up with anything. Email me. All right, I want to hear your suggestions. I want to hear your stories. I want to hear any questions you may have. All right, ghostpolitics@yahoo.com is the name to email. And at the same time, folks, we're in the process of expanding the broadcast. As you well know, for all the folks that are broadcast or Blog Talk Radio listeners, you know that the broadcasts are going to be limited to 30 minutes now for those that aren't paying for the service. But we are in the process of paying for the service. We're going to have a 3-hour show at some point. We're going to try to broadcast 5 days a week if possible, and at the same time, we're going to be talking about business, capitalists, and current events. And I hope that you tune in to us, all right? I mean, this is just a new time slot, new format, everything. And I hope to see you here, and I hope that you spread the word, so tell everybody that you know. And for all you folks that, went out there and, kind of posted these YouTube videos of yours truly, which were kind of negative, why don't you post some positive ones, huh? Why don't you post some prognostications that I've made? How about that? Why don't you do something positive in trying to promote the True Capitalist radio show that's going to help make everybody money, that's going to take the initiative, and is going to make everybody who's out there with their hands out looking for taxpayer money look lower than a leprechaun's nutsack. All right? Go out there and spread a positive word about True Capitalist radio. Anyway, folks, I'm going to end the show here. Once again, ghostpolitics@yahoo.com. Don't be afraid to email. I want to hear from you. I'll be reading emails the next show, and I'm going to be trying to hook up interviews also. So if you happen to be a business owner or you own a corporation or whatever the case might be, shoot me an email. We'll throw an interview with you, talk to you, see what it's like to be an actual capitalist, putting your money where your mouth is. Because as I've said, folks, capitalists are the one with the balls. All right? Always remember that. They're the ones that are going to throw the money out and take the risk. Those that are out there, pissing and moaning, those are the idiots that are just going to fall back on what's easy. All right? Capitalists have the balls. And if you're a capitalist, all you have to do is think like one. Anyway, I'm out of here. I'll be back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week, same time. Hope to see you here, and spread the word. All right, go to the forum post, go to your favorite forum post, email people, tweet people, do whatever it takes. I'm counting on you. We need more capitalists out here so that we can overtake the damn political system and have it geared toward our perspective, towards our interest, which is lower taxation and deregulation. I'm out of here. Long live capitalism.